Hi, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has been contacting me, wanting more news about the disaster that has occurred on New Zealand's South Island, at the top of the South Island, the Nelson and Tasman area. The disaster is the result of two massive storms. Now, world media are not covering this for some reason. Indeed, there are many Kiwis who are not aware of how bad the situation is. The government declared a state of emergency, which has been lifted, but the situation is really grim. And many of our Kiwi neighbours have witnessed incredible destruction of their livelihoods, the loss of their homes. I believe one fatality and not many injuries, but the situation is absolutely dire. And here's a flavour from New Zealand media.
In the worst hit region of Tasman, the clean-up has barely begun. One farmer has called it the worst event in more than 50 years. And communities and sectors like the hop industry are now facing a clean-up likely to cost millions and last years.
The full impact of the floods in Tasman district yet to be determined. The region, though, gradually reopening its roads, authorities assessing the damage. A lot of farmers there having gravel all over the paddocks. You can see some of the damage from the air.
It's very severe, Ryan. Lots of damage, particularly to farmers' properties, fences washed away, rivers cutting into joining land, substantial areas of land lost to the river. A huge effect right up and down the Motueka River and over in the Waiheke River catchment. Huge roading issues for us, particularly bridge approaches have been washed out. They'll take several weeks or if not months to repair. Certainly those pastoral farmers have been hard hit. Middle of winter when the paddocks were already wet, lot of pasture damaged and some baleage washed away and down the river. So yeah, there will be demand for supplementary feed to support those farmers that have had particularly large damage to their paddocks or crops that they use for wintering livestock.
The issue is the ferocity of the water, and large areas in the valley where Liz and I live, the Motueka River Valley, are now covered in silt and gravel, and stock have been washed away. Yeah, it's a human disaster. It's also an animal disaster. Many people have lost their sheep and their cattle. The pain of that must be amazing. I've met a lot of Kiwi farmers over the years that I've lived in New Zealand, and they all exhibit a compassion and love for their animals. And some of them have faced, in the last week or so, the most heartbreaking decision that anybody can have to make. Do I watch my animals drown, or do I shoot them? And farmers they've been facing that decision. Thankfully, it's not a decision I've had to make. Our farmland is higher than where the water has got to. And we've been in a position where we can offer our grazing to people that have lost their grazing. And in fact, our farms are now packed out with cattle that are due to calve and sheep that are due to lamb. I think we're just about full, but we are saying to our farmer neighbours, if we can help, I'm sure we can all scrunch in a little bit. A lot of people have lost their feed, so we're trying to find feed from outside the area and bring that in. Simple little things like, it's the winter in New Zealand, and most people heat their homes with logs, and wood, timber has just been washed away. So again, we're trying to put all this together as best we can. Now, I'm not saying we are the only people doing it, but I'm so proud of my River Haven team, because they really have been working round the clock with all the other agencies and with our neighbours to try and, help people rebuild their homes and rebuild their livelihoods. In the next few days, I'll be doing another report to tell you what's happened at Riverhaven, our vineyard. The top line is that we've opened it as a support centre. And so a wonderful couple, Greg and Danzy, have set up their Repost initiative where farmers can go along and get the much needed fencing posts, wires and all the equipment. And they don't have to travel far now because they can come to Riverhaven in Ngatamoti. We're getting logs and feed, as I say. Also, we're now storing the donated food, and well done. People have donated such incredible amounts of food and supplies. Well, we're now pulling quite a bit of that together in what was our clubhouse restaurant. And we've got some lovely volunteers who have been cooking food, and we're storing some of that in our freezers, and we're getting it out there. This disaster is difficult to comprehend if you don't know the topography, the landscape. There are people up in the mountains who are only getting food supplies now delivered by helicopter. There are people who have been trapped, unable to get out, even with their 4x4s. And so we've been trying to get to those people and take food to them, and pet food as well, much needed, and one or two little gifts for people whose morale is understandably as low as it's ever likely to be. I'll give you an update because there is a lot of positive stuff going on. And again, I say I'm so grateful that we have not been hard hit. And I'm incredibly grateful for all of the companies and all of the shops and individuals who have been donating food and clothing, and we're pulling it together in the Ngatamoti area for the benefit of our Kiwi neighbours. There's so much to do, and it's very difficult to describe the scale of the challenge accurately. But I promise you, I will give you an update in the next few days. Once again, thank you so much for your interest in what is a massive disaster for Kiwis on the South Island of New Zealand. Bless you.